What can make us crack NMAT?
So it assesses the skills that are required to pursue the program and to be able to work in whichever field they would like to pursue their careers in.
And data interpretation is so calculation intensive and tough that our non-engineer kids fear taking the exam.
The quant is 10th maths. There is no geometry. So it's basic maths, arithmetics, probability, sequence and series.
Hi everyone, welcome on board. This is Anisha here today in conversation with Beena ma'am. And trust me guys, this is like a golden opportunity for all of you guys who are thinking, should I take NMAT or not? We have Beena ma'am who heads the NMAT product, and we are going to ask ma'am some secrets. And I think over to you, Beena ma'am. Hi ma'am, welcome on board.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Beena Sharma. As Anisha said, I head NMAT. I'm a senior director here at GMAT for the last 7 years, and I've been heading NMAT in the last 7 years.
Wow.
I am looking forward to telling you why NMAT is an exam that is not only a stepping stone to programs, but it also builds your understanding of management programs and careers thereafter.
Lovely, ma'am. So, ma'am, I always keep telling all the students कि NMAT is, the only adaptive exam which makes it the most student friendly. But more than me, who's been, an exam mentor, or I've taken NMAT years back, you are the one who's seen the NMAT exam evolve. We would love to hear it from you. What do you or what goes behind all the NMAT team members, paper setters mind when you are designing the NMAT exam, like each section, the kind of questions that come, the weightage for critical reasoning is high. What do you think, what is it that you are looking forward from the students?
So NMAT exam has been designed to test candidate skills in 3 sections: language skills, quantitative skills, and logical reasoning. As far as the exam structure is concerned, the number of questions in each of the sections is same, and the only difference is the duration of the sections, the time given to candidates to answer the questions in each of the sections. But when it comes to weightage, it's equal weightage to all the sections. All the sections have a score out of 120 and the total score is out of 360. So there is no different weightage across sections. It's the time that is different that you get to answer in each of the sections. That depends upon a well-researched methodology of how much time will be needed to answer the verbal questions or the logical reasoning questions or the quant question. Now, coming to what it tests, now the test is so well curated that each of the 3 sections check skills which are needed for a candidate to be able to successfully complete an MBA program, irrespective of which disciplines they choose, whether it's finance or fintech or HR or operations management, or the upcoming fields like AI, data analytics, business analytics, machine learning and data science, because most of the schools today are even looking at new age specializations. So it assesses the skills that are required to pursue the program and to be able to work in whichever field they would like to pursue their careers in. So if I come to language skills help a candidate understand complex verbal texts. You and I, as working professionals, we know that we always have to go through a lot of information as managers, as product heads, you look at any career. Whether you are advising candidates on programs, whether you are an operations person, whether you are HR, there is always a need to analyze, evaluate, infer information. So the verbal section looks at that capability, organizing information, understanding the context that is set by an author, let's say in reading comprehension, to understand what is the author trying to say, evaluate the author's claims, infer information from that. Like a paraforming question in NMAT is organizing information based on the relationship, based on the concepts, based on the sequence that you think is right as per the sentences provided in a jumbled form. Then you are also checking grammar concepts like subject-verb agreement, parallelism, relationships. So you are checking the correct usage of grammar through various forms of items like sentence correction, error identification, analogies checks, relationships amongst various forms. So that's what the language section is checking, and it is very important because language is used, the communication tool, when you are presenting case studies, writing your answers, or tomorrow doing a group discussion, or later on in life when you have to communicate with your peers, team superiors.
I mean, yeah. I think, the way you said it, it essentially, like, as future managers, reading comprehension is the most essential. You make sense out of the data, how do you going to, when your reportees are going to be presenting out to you, how do you make sense of what work they have done? So, if I may just to summarize, when you say the crux of our verbal section is that we focus on reading comprehension skills and grammar usage skills along with para comprehension, which is there. But I don't think that the students need to go back to school days or Wren and Martin and Ratta grammar rules. It's more application based.
They are already equipped with those skills in their graduation and K-12. They don't need to go and understand. They need to apply those concepts.
Lovely.
Yeah. So we have already learned it. They don't have to go and practice on a Wren and Martin. Yeah. They have to know how to apply it in the various situations. Yeah.
Amazing. So that makes my life easier as a student when we say that we're looking at grammar usage and not, heavy dose of verbal and English, which is great.
We are not checking the rules.
Yeah.
We are checking application of the rules, not checking that is this a subject verb agreement, is it parallelism. We are not asking those questions.
Absolutely.
You have to look at the questions, apply your skills that you have already acquired in your previous education levels, and answer those questions.
I think that is why, ma'am, we've got like the least time when it comes to verbal, because it's not going to be something which you have to derive or, spend so much time. It's very more intuitive and understanding based.
Much more intuitive. The only thing you have to understand is that you have to pace yourselves in such a way that you once read, if you've read the passage once, let's say, the 4 questions that follow, you should know where exactly in the passage do you not need to go back to be able to answer that question. Yeah.
I mean, just a small hack for all of you guys, if you're listening. You should start with the verbal section because you're going to be more attentive. You will remember what you read in the passage, so your life is easier. You need to read the passage only once and not 2-3 times. But that's something which you can always try in your, mock tests. There are free mocks available. There are your practice official guide questions also, which will give you a hang about it. I'm sure, ma'am, this is what they will get in the feeler, in the prep resources, right?
Yes, and the prep has a detailed report. It tells you how much time you spent on each of the sections, which sections did you do well, which sections did you get more correct answers, incorrect answers. While there are no answer explanations, but you do get what did you do well, what did you not do well, what is the average time spent on each of the sections on the questions. So that gives you an idea which are the sections you need to further brush up upon before giving the actual exam.
You can strategize your prep
to the next
better.
section. Do you have a question or should I proceed?
That's good, ma'am. We can move to the next section.
Now coming to logical reasoning. Okay. Now one of the most essential skills for managers is reasoning. Okay. And logical reasoning assesses the ability to deduce inferences from the information given, accurately apply rules and principles. So what are the rules for a statement assumption question versus a statement conclusion question are different. Yeah. So in one, you are looking for what has the person assumed to arrive at an answer. In the other, you are looking at what can be concluded
Concluded.
given the scenario and the statements, which is the right conclusion.
Yes.
Yeah. So apply rules and principles. You have to evaluate the strength of the statements and identify which is the correct answer. And we also test skills like statement arguments, cogency of an argument, basically, how lucid is it, which is the right argument. Yeah. And decision making and statement course of action is also tested. Actually, what we end up doing on a daily basis as managers is taking decisions and defining course of actions.
True.
Okay. Now, when you are taking decisions, when you are defining the next course of action, obviously you have to discuss with your peers, with your teams on whatever is the information available. Look at what are the assumptions based on which you can take a decision. So that's why statement assumption. What is
Yeah.
the conclusion you draw from the information that is available, based on which you will take a decision or define a course of action. So those are some of the questions that we test. And today information is not just verbal, it's quant also. There are numbers, there are sales figures, there are cost figures, based on which you have to take decisions. So our logical reasoning has a blend of verbal and quantitative inputs based on which you have to arrive at a decision. There are also situations like, there are questions like input output, ranking tests, Venn diagrams, where you have to apply your mathematical principles to arrive at
The
the
answer, yeah.
answer. So it's a mix of both verbal scenarios, approaches, business scenarios that will be given, and may or may not be with quantitative information also, based on which you have to arrive at an answer.
Lovely.
So which is what we do every day once we get into a job.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a lot of, when you start practicing those questions, the verbal reasoning, you will start feeling this is also common sense. I really don't have to, go out of my way to learn this. And the non-verbal reasoning, like ma'am mentioned about the ranking test, input, output, these are all very process oriented. The ones you're able to identify the logic, the process behind it, trust me, you will enjoy it, because one input output is not a single question, it's four questions and one set, by understanding one logic. So start finding those hacks where you can save time and maximize your scores as well also. Ma'am, coming to,
It's mostly a pattern that you have to establish.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then you can, the question. Yeah.
Lovely. Ma'am, the most dreaded section for everybody is quants and DI. And the most common myth amongst the students is also that the quants and data interpretation is so calculation intensive and tough that, our non-engineer kids fear taking the exam. What do you think about
Okay, now
that?
that's again a very big myth. Okay. 75% of the candidates were non-engineers who took the NMAT last year.
Wow.
Okay. And over the last few years, we are seeing a constant increase in non-engineers appearing for NMAT. The quant is 10th maths. Yeah. In terms of number systems, in terms of equations, arithmetic. Okay. It's not differentiation and integration, which we
Yeah.
as kids used to dread in 11th and 12th grades. Okay.
In
Especially as
fact,
science candidates. Yeah.
ma'am, we don't have geometry also, which a lot of
We
students
don't
don't
have
like.
geometry. No, there is no geometry. So it's basic maths,
Yeah.
arithmetics, probability, sequence and series, combinatorial reasoning,
Combination, yes.
equations, which you will end up using any which way in one or the other field that you will go into. Okay. So basically, you just need to brush up your mathematic principles, mathematical operations, and the basic principles for each of these topics. Our official guide has an explanation of each and every topic in quant, in logical reasoning, in language, and how to prepare for it. It has sample questions, it has mock tests, which can help you prepare for the exam with even if you use those questions with answer explanations, that will tell you how to solve these
Approach these
questions.
questions.
Yeah. And if you look at it, the data interpretation and DI caselets, okay, why do we have that in the exam? Please understand that once you start working, okay, or even if let's say you get case studies in your programs that you are enrolling for, A case study is always a scenario, a real life real life kind of scenario in which you will have data in graphs, charts, tables, which you will have to interpret along with some text that is also there, which is explaining it.
True.
So you have to match the two and arrive at a decision. Now, this is what is preparing you not only for your program, but also preparing you for becoming a good manager. And that's what all of the programs that accept NMAT train you for. So yes, there are calculations. Maths will have calculations, but there are ways to master those calculations to be able to answer the questions. And there are tips and tricks that you can use. For example, divisibility laws that you can remember, which will help you, or mental maths. Today, I think even junior classes, kids are trained on mental maths. So current students would probably be familiar. Gone are the days when we were told to learn tables and then, rote learning of tables and cramming them up and then doing it. Today, there are so many tips and tricks taught right at school level. So quant is here. Quant is not difficult. It just needs preparation. Then there is another section in quant, which is data sufficiency. Okay, now that's a question which is not there in most of the other exams. And you need to understand what it is about. It's basically asking you if the information provided based on the scenario, the information provided in the two statements is enough to arrive at an answer, whether a single statement can give you the answer, whether both statements together, whether one of the two statements or neither of the statements. So logical reasoning basically is testing deductions, critical reasoning, quantitative reasoning through some of the questions which have quant, patterns, sets, ranking tests, input, output, and then statement, course of action, decision making. And it is testing higher order reasoning skills through data sufficiency items. So it is testing your skills in these areas to be able to arrive at what is your current abilities in these sections to be able to successfully complete the program and pursue a career in management beyond that.
Hi, I'm Sejal Sharma.
Sauradeep Chaudhary. मेरा CAT percentile 99.20 था.
Watching your videos and I kept watching them and the motivation and your energy was just too high that it gave me the motivation that I can do it.
I'm very grateful to you because आपके मैं सारे lectures बैठा हूँ.
CAT King का जो interface है वो बहुत ही अच्छा है एकदम CAT की तरफ.
क्या बात है? Whenever I used to feel low, आपका motivation देख लेती थी.
पापा मेरे से बड़े फैन हैं.
क्यों भाई?
क्योंकि जब मैं स्पीकर पे पढ़ता था या आपके वीडियो देखता था तो बोलते हैं ये बंदा ना पढ़ाते हो सब मोटिवेट करता है तुम्हें वो हवा भरती रहनी चाहिए हमेशा गाड़ी में.
Thank you so much, sir. And I would again like to thank all of you as the CAT King family. It's been a great experience.
Hit the bell icon.